God, it's a live intro. So, I've obviously got something to say. Well, welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is Angel from Angel Illustrations. And, I thought I'd give a live intro to this little series that I'm working on. Now, I will say from the start, it is not a tutorial. It is not intended as a tutorial. What works for these hands and this brain might never work for you. But likewise, you might watch some of this video and, well, some of these videos, and see something that you might want to try, something you hadn't thought of, and it's all up to you. So, what is this video series? I'm always asked on how I create my works. So how do you do this? How do you come up with ideas? How do you... I don't know how you get these ideas down on the page. Where does they all come from? And if we just travel back in time, 20 plus years, I started my artistic journey by going to art school. I did a degree in illustration. That course specialised in children's books. I completely rebelled and went down the road of learning to oil paint. So for the first half of my artistic endeavours, I did things on panel in oils. I still like this piece. I can see the age in it, and I can see how far I've grown. But yeah. Now I left my degree, and the first thing I did was scrap all this and went back and became more invested in graphite and pencil renderings. And then obviously I went to digital, and then came slowly back to traditional work. But there's one thing that's never left me. And that's the subject of this first video. And that is the joy of the humble pencil. And throughout my degree, it was always hammered into us that if you have a weak drawing, you'll have a weak finished product. And that's stayed with me for so long, and I've always kept in the back of my mind that before I start laying down any colour, I mean, if we take a recent piece, you might recall this one. Before you lay down any of these tones and shades and wrap this around and learn where's this little shadow coming from, how's this shadow formed, where's the highlight in the hair, how deep is this shadow, how far do you render that down? It all starts with the pencil. And this video, we're going to talk about the act of drawing and the act of creating a drawing, and everything that you don't see leading up to the colour going down. Because in a lot of my videos, you just see the finished sketch. So this time, we're going to look more at the sketch and more at my thought processes on how a piece is made. So, without further ado, I shall tuck that away and say, now, for every piece that I do, it's ever so slightly different, and there is a pattern now, and it's the same pattern that most artists follow. I start with sort of rough, sketchy thing. Now, I already had some stock image for the model for this. I had a rough idea in my mind. I know the colours in my brain. So this was me just sort of playing. It's all done with biro, so you don't have to think about it. And it's quite important for me because it helps sort of plot out the key elements. So by the time you reach this point, I've already drawn that model 2, maybe 3 times. One very rough, one sort of going over that on layout paper, refining lines, and then it's down onto my actual pad. And this paper is Kanson's The Wall. It's a very rugged, hard-wearing paper. It takes a lot of punishment, as you'll see later in the video. And what this stage is the very start of the piece. I'm only working with pencils, 2 pencils really. One's drop lead, one's the Faber-Castell mechanical pencil. And this is where I start pulling in the concept. I know what I want in the corner. I want a humanoid sort of demon monster, kind of weird thing. So I pull out another pad, and it's a 39 pence kids book. I think I got it from Pound Stretcher. Freehanding a lot of this. So I'm building it around a human skull, just to sort of map out, and then exaggerating from there. And this is where things sort of get funny. You see my process. I work things out, and then by this point, footage corrupted, unfortunately. I know what I'm doing. I've got a good idea. So my pencil lines are down, I've got a fine liner out, and I'm just doing that little refining, changing some angles, doing a few things. All this is sort of key to the way I work. And the way I work is unique to me, but not unique to me because it was the way I was taught. So there's probably a bunch of people I was on the same course with doing the same thing. But I treat these sort of drawing stages as the foundation of the piece, especially when I'm going to be working with markers as I'm going to be. It's sort of one of the most important parts. The colour part, it's colouring in. That's why I say I'm very good at colouring in. But to colour in, you need structure, and that's what this is all about. Now, what you're seeing here is me working on the finished final board, and you can see the punishment that Kanson's paper is able to take. I'm drawing, redrawing again, erasing, coming back. Not one of these pencil lines is actually deep enough into the paper to cause any long-term damage, and when it comes down to it, it'll still show up through the marker. So that was really an example of the process before the colouring stage, before the bits that I show off in the videos. So this is all part of the same process. The methods may change, but in the end, it's all part of the same flow. Now, what I'm going to hope to do in the next couple of videos is start working out the markers. All I've done is use some Derwent line makers there to outline everything and make it a little bit more bold, so I know that the markers aren't going to swallow it whole, because I'm very, very good at losing my pencil lines when I start working on a piece. But that's it. That's my process. That's the bit right at the start. So, if you want to see a bit further, next couple of videos, one's going to be on colouring, one's going to be on finishing. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel, click that little bell to be notified, and stay tuned. The next bit is the bit you all like to see. Anyway, you know the drill by now. Take it easy.